You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got ourselves a Shedeur Sanders Cleveland Browns quarterback update. All right, we got a little news that's coming out, trickling out about what has already happened in practice today and who will potentially start against the Eagles on Saturday. All right, now, one thing I want to touch on before we get into that news is the rating has come out for this game that Shedeur Sanders made his debut in. And some people are like, it was 3 times higher for the Hall of Fame game. Well, there's a reason for that, and I'll show it. But this was a big rating. Ain't no doubt about it. According to Nielsen, the Sporting News on X, 2.2 million people tuned in to see Sanders play for the Browns against the Carolina Panthers last week. All right. Now, a couple of other things to note. The Hall of Fame game, no other games was on. All right. There were other games that were showing in local markets across the country, right, during this game. But this was the one nationally televised game, to my knowledge, was the only one. And there's another big difference. The Hall of Fame game is on NBC, which is available in over 112 million homes in the United States. Jesus, there's nearly 400 million people. What is the other 200 million? What's going on? I guess they're saying households, so okay. But anyway, 112 million households. NFL Network is currently available in 51.1 million homes. So that's where you're seeing the big ratings difference. I mean, one's available in 70 million more homes, damn near it. All right, so yeah, that's going to make a massive difference. If this game would have been on NBC, Fox, ABC, and I'm talking about Shedeur's debut, and had they had it to do over, they probably would have gotten it on there. I mean, if they realized it was going to draw that kind of a rating on NFL Network, I mean, how the problem is the Hall of Fame game is the first game, and it's on national free TV. That's the big difference, all right? And no other games are on, but that's a big rating. So we all know by now, and I'm going to show this, Cleveland released their second depth chart, and Shedeur is still at number 4. Dillon Gabriel 3, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco. As you can imagine, these comments aren't crazy at all. They're not crazy at all. Oh, the comments are a mess. So, Mary Kay Cabot, this morning, Shedeur Sanders will start against the Eagles Saturday if, but wait, that's a big-ass but. Never trust a big butt and a smile. If Dillon's hamstring, little Dillon Gabriel, if Dillon Gabriel's hamstring prevents him from starting, Kevin Stefanski said. So, Shedeur Sanders will start, but the monstrous ass but, that's if Dillon Gabriel's hammy isn't good. I do have a question, because Kenny Pickett's got a bad hammy, Dillon Gabriel's got a bad hammy. What in the hell are y'all doing exactly as quarterbacks? When's the last time you remember a quarterback having a bad hamstring, much less 2 on the same team? What are y'all having your quarterbacks doing in Cleveland? Exactly. I mean, it's an honest question. I mean, seriously. Or are you not wanting to put these two out there? Oh, did I say that out loud? I did. They really don't want Dillon Gabriel exposed. If that happens and Shedeur delivers, you have to bump him up on the depth chart. Let's see Dillon. He should be behind Sanders on the depth chart. Let Gabriel start so we can put this whole thing to rest. Sanders will obviously be the starter. He's got to put asses in the seats. And it just keeps going from there. Look, I still don't think Shedeur is starting the season as the starter, if that's where people are going. If that's your number one end game, you're going to be disappointed, I think. It's going to be Joe Flacco's job. Now, How fast does it become somebody else's job? I don't know. It all depends on the record. You got to remember, Stefanski in part is playing for his job this year. And look, if you didn't have Shedeur Sanders on this team, there would be this groundswell of excitement because Joe Flacco is back after what he did a couple of years ago. The Sanders story has sucked the air out of the Joe Flacco story, which when they signed Joe Flacco, I said, I told John Matrix, I said, oh shit, that's going to be a bit of a story in Cleveland. And then they drafted Sanders and it was like, never mind. That's a side note now. Start Dillon. I want to see why the coaching staff has been saying he's better than Shedeur Sanders all summer. We want to see Gabriel. So a lot of people are saying start Dillon Gabriel, but I think a lot of people believe Dillon Gabriel may be exposed, opening the door for Sanders. All right. Now, this is also from this morning, about 30 minutes ago. Shedeur Sanders didn't take any reps in the first 7-on-7 period or first 11-on-11 period versus the Eagles. Okay. I mean, it's wild. You'll never convince me this team knows what they're doing. They're playing a dangerous game because everyone with eyes so far has seen one guy play well. Incompetent organization. Well, we also got to remember, Sanders played well. I made a video on it, and I thought he did real well. I did. I thought him and Jackson Dart and Tyler Shook all showed their ass this weekend. They did. All three rookie quarterbacks that were sort of had names. Cam Ward wasn't bad either, to be honest. But he didn't get nearly as much playing time because he's already won that job and yada, yada, yada. You get the point. They're treating him like a true starter. These other clubs have all got, there is a real competition in New Orleans, although they're pulling for Tyler, and I think Tyler's getting the next start in New Orleans. They think he's a starter, all right? People can make fun of that pick, but the pundits were kind of high on him, to be honest. If he would have been younger, he'd have been a first-round pick, probably a top 10 pick, but he was 25. If he'd have been 22, he'd have been – Tyler Shook would have been a top 10 pick, all right? It was the age thing. Trade him or release him, unserious football and coaching team, fire them all. I mean, what the hell are we doing? Woo! I said when the Browns released the depth chart the other day, I said Kevin Stefanski may have to go into hiding. I mean, honestly, you guys may have to go into witness protection. The fan base, I don't know if they're hoping that they will. Look, I don't believe they're hoping Sanders falls on his ass. I don't want to say that because that's dumb. The best thing that could happen to anybody is one of these four guys shows his ass. We got to remember Sanders and Snoop are the only two we've seen play. Okay? So right now, the only frame of reference anybody's got outside of the things coming out of training camp is Shedeur Sanders and what we seen the other day. I'm taking Snoop out of that. He's not winning this job. He's a camp arm, all right? He's a camp arm. God, this is going to – I said this is the most interesting story in the NFL, and it still is. And my God. And look, the Browns fan base is actually split on this too. There's some Browns fans out there that are like, he's not the guy. Stop it, he's not the guy. Or let's see Dillon. Or let's see Flacco. The main knock against Flacco is his age. We already know, though, he can run that offense. Absolutely. He can run that offense and run it well. People forget, what was that in that run that he had to the playoffs? 6 consecutive 300-yard games? I mean, it was impressive. And then he shit the bed in the playoffs. But at least you got there. This is so interesting. I mean, I don't know. Look, even if Shedeur starts, even if he plays well, the other thing we got to monitor is it against the Eagles ones, which would be impressive. If he went out there and balled out against the Eagles ones, it would be impressive, even though they're not scheming the same way. If he still looks really good, regardless, it's going to be intriguing. It's going to raise more questions. I mean, one could say because he's a 5th-round pick, it's still going to be impressive. Man, this Cleveland organization, y'all got some drama. Y'all got a little drama out there. Yeah, it's interesting. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.